Magandang ay, di pa ako nag-share. Sige, share muna po tayo. Na ano ako, nakalimutan ko. Magandang gabi sa inyo lahat. Ako po si Trixie Cruz-Angeles. So, till Saturday, nakahapol pa po tayo. Let me just, give me a second to share this. Kaloka. Huwag po kakalimutan, like and share muna nitong live natin. And, alright. Pasensya na. Share. There you go. Magandang gabi. Nasa Baguio po kami ngayon. Galing kami abra uh, just today. Magandang gabi kay Leticia Fernando, Fritz Kilo, Romel, bilis Casino, Jen Garcia Calderon, Edna Austin, Ben Simbulan, Jack Jeff, Alexi Jimenez, Gemma Sual Estremos, Arlene Panes, June M, Cheryl Hernandez, sino ba yung mga nauna dito? Ato si Garcia Virges, tama ba yun? JR and so on. Lola My Sixth Sense, Cecilia, and so on. Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Kamusta po kayo? Okay, ano lang, just to check out what the week was like for us, no? Marami din namang rumors about Madam Inday, Mayor Sara running. So, I guess hindi talaga tayo makakahinga until the 15th of November. Reminder lang po sa lahat na si Lincoln Ong ay nakakulong pa rin po sa Senado. In spite of the fact na parang nag-slow down naman yata ang hearings, pero hindi pa rin siya pinakakawalan. Ngayon, ang konsepto diyan is, may coercive power kasi ang Senado. Pwede silang mag-compel na pumunta ang isang tao sa hearing or sa testimony. They could cite people in contempt. Ngayon, nagkaso ang lawyer ni Lincoln Ong sa Korte Suprema at pinakokomento ng Korte Suprema ang Senado, ang ilang mga senador, in particular Senator Gordon, Senator Tito Soto, and one other. So I'm not sure who it was, but tatlo po silang pinapasagot ng Korte Suprema tungkol dun sa mga assertions ng panig ni Lincoln Ong. In the sense, saying that hindi nga legal na ang repeatedly binabadger siya during the Senate hearings at yung pag-detain sa kanya dahil evasive daw di umano ang kanyang mga sagot. So tuloy-tuloy pa rin po, wag po natin siyang kakalimutan kasi pag nabaon yan sa limot, then we don't get to, kumbaga, baliwala yung pag-call out natin dito sa mga senador, di ba? Sayang, we need to, kahit paano, kahit by our own public opinion lang, ay mapahinahon natin yung mga, yung abusive, yung tendency ng Senado to, senators to be abusive. Diba? Maraming salamat kay Winston Clave for your super sticker. Yeah, well, it isn't just the other branches of government na nakakapag-check sa iba-ibang branches, pero pati tayo. Yan ang tinatawag nga ng power of public opinion. Kasi nga, nanggagaling sa atin yung power para iupo sila sa pwesto, iluklok sa pwesto, mga individual na naging yung mga senador, mga kongresista natin. And so, tayo din, kumbaga, importante yung feedback na nanggagaling sa atin. So, kaya pinapaalala ko lang na huwag pong kakalimutan na si Lincoln Ong po ay nakakulong pa rin hanggang ngayon. In spite of the fact na ito na nga nananawagan na ang kanyang panig, napakawalan na siya, sumusobra na yan. Kumbaga, at least para dun sa panig ni Lincoln, sumusobra na yung medyo abusive na nga, sinusobra na yung paggamit nila ng kanilang power, and even if it is legal, dahil nag-exceed na sila dun sa allowable na paggamit nila ng power, then their abuses can be checked by the Supreme Court. Maraming salamat kay Ma'am Clara Fernandez. Ngayon, we also would like to uh, take note dito sa mga pangyayari. So, we tend to focus ourselves on the national elections. 'Di ba? Parating of course because it's something that we all share. Pero gusto ko lang paalala sa lahat na meron din po tayong obligasyon na iboto yung ating mga local officials. So, mayor, vice mayor, mga konsehal natin, and then on the local level, and then also, meron tayong mga kailangan iboto na senador at mga kongresista. Huwag po natin papabayaan yung mga yan, pati yung party list po, huwag yung ibablanko, because, uh, you know, uh, precisely, di ba nakikita natin, yung tuloy-tuloy yung pagkulong kay Lincoln we need to put good people in the Senate and in the House. Yung mga tao na nakikita nila na hindi lang puro in aid of grandstanding dapat itong mga investigasyon. Yung mga investigasyon ng Senado at saka ng Kongreso ay ukol yan. Ang punteriya niyan ay para makagawa ng maayos na mga batas. Bahagi yan ng paglagak, pag-gather ng impormasyon para maayos yung mga batas. Kung kailangan i-repeal, kung kailangan uh, amendahan, or if we need to leave it alone, or if we need new laws. So tuloy-tuloy nga yung review ng mga batas, kaya hindi natin pwede sabihin na tanggalin natin ang legislature. Kailangan meron tayong legislature that's continuously working, continuously reviewing and making better laws. Or checking our old laws, tapos tinitignan natin kung ito ay okay pa din. 'Di ba? Kung it needs to be changed, it needs to be updated, and so on. Thank you kay Ma'am Lucy 15 sa sharing is caring daw for your super sticker. Thank you very much. Okay. Let me see. Uh, Thank you kay Ma'am Iligara Araceli Moser. She's watching from Basel, Switzerland. So, oo, napa-midnight show nga tayo ngayon eh. Ito. Algo says, bakit di na lang po alamin kung gusto ng taga Davao mismo na tumakbo si Sara Duterte sa pagkapangulo? Sana makarating at makatulong ito. She will go for president. Will support her. I don't think anybody's stopping people from Davao. Di ba? Wala naman yata pumipigil sa mga taga Davao na mag-express ng kanilang opinion kung gusto nilang tumakbo si Madam. Ito. Nako. Ang hirap telepono gamit ko ngayon eh. Lani Teoxon, thank you for your super sticker. Eric Florentino says, but how do we neutralize or counteract smart magic? Well, like I constantly remind people, they can only cheat up to a certain number. Diba? Kasi halata na after some point, we were able to vote in our president, si Rodrigo Duterte, because we voted for him in overwhelming amounts. In over amounts, numbers. We voted for him in overwhelming numbers. So that's how we do it. Right now, it's the only way to defeat them. Para dun sa mga nagsasabing, bakit may Smartmatic pa? I will recap, okay? Wala po kasing decision ang Korte Suprema dun sa ni-raise ni Senator Bongbong, ni candidate Bongbong Marcos dun sa kanyang electoral protest against Leni Robredo. Walang decision, and therefore there is no existing factual finding. Kumbaga, there's no judicial proceeding, no proceeding that established for a fact the alleged cheating. Kasi kung may decision ng Korte Suprema, may establish yun. Eh since hindi siya established, the COMELEC continues to allow it to participate sa mga biddings because the presumption is of innocence, di ba? Kung sino po i-endorse ni tatay, nako, ang bibilis nito. Sino po ba gumawa ng law na pwedeng mag-file ng COC ang convicted tulad ni De Lima? Thanks sa sagot kung di mabasa. Okay, okay. First of all, nabasa ko. Second, hindi po convicted si Laila De Lima, so you're going to have to disabuse yourself of that notion. Hindi po siya convicted. In fact, siya po yung nagpapadelay ng sarili niyang kaso. Ilang beses po siyang umakyat sa Korte Suprema at ilang beses din siyang nagpapa-recuse or disqualify, yung paparecuse ng judge, pinapapalitan niya yung judge. May allegation siya of bias and so on. So, dahil sa constant number of interventions, motions, pag-akyat sa Korte Suprema and so on, tumatagal ng tumatagal yung kaso niya. So, hindi pa po siya convicted. Ulitin ko po yan, hindi pa po convicted si Senator De Lima and so she can run for office. Okay? Kasi ang premise ninyo bakit makakatakbo pa rin yung convicted? Hindi po. Hindi makakatakbo pag convicted na by final judgment. Ngayon, kunwari, convicted ka sa regional trial court tapos inapila mo katulad ng ginagawa ni Trillanes, pwede ka pang tumakbo kasi hindi pa final yung decision. So, hindi pa convicted. Okay? Kailangan po yung conviction ay by final judgment. So, paalala, si Senator De Lima hindi pa po convicted. Si Senator Trillanes, although convicted siya, naka-appeal yung kanyang kaso and therefore hindi pa final yung decision on his libel suit. Wokinam said, ano po masasabi niyo sa pagtakbo ni Harry Roque? May nasabi po siya nung nakaraan na tatakbo lamang po siya sa pagtatakbo ni Sara Duterte. Sign na po ba to? Tumakbo ba si Spox Harry? I understand that he didn't. He didn't file a COC. Pwede niyo po gawin na mobile hot post ang phone niyo to connect ang laptop to internet para much more comfortable or easier for you. Actually, I just didn't want to bring out my laptop. Hassle eh. Arafat Pukaan says, good evening. We'll watch the replay later as I currently am listening to SAS at Statecraft interview of Gibo. Well, thank you for advertising SAS. May nag-endorse po kay Roque for substitution, sabi ni Keisha. I don't really like to comment ng conjecture. Ibig sabihin, ini-interpret ba natin yung actions ni Spox Harry? Well, first of all, tinanggap na ba niya? Kung in-endorse siya for substitution, did he accept it? And therefore, is he running? So, and then even then, bakit natin i-connect yan kay Madam Inday? Do we even know if Madam Inday will tell Spox Harry if she's actually running? Diba? So, let's not really waste our time on conjecture like that. I mean, it's fun. It's fun to conjecture, but I don't really have any answers for that eh. Kaso pag nag-apply ng work, ang daming kailangan pati police clearance pero sa COC hindi. Okay, we're talking about now the Constitution. Ang saligang batas kasi technically, well, it's supposed to allow a big representation of people to aspire for public office. Yun naman po kasi mga positions that are elected, mataas nga po yun, malaki ang katungkulan. And you're right na mabahala dun sa bakit dun sa with the rest of the civil service is sobrang higpit ng mga requirements samantalang dun sa elected hindi. Well, because a lot of people weighed in and elected. Okay. Ganito, there are two kinds of civil servants. In the civil service, there's the appointed and then there's the elected. Dun sa mga appointed, yun usually yung maraming mga requirement. Bakit? Kasi isang tao nag-exercise ng discretion. Doon sa elected, maraming tao ang nagsasabi dapat iupo itong taong to. So I'm not sure if you're getting the difference here. May mandato sila from a lot of people. So pagka ganun, kailangan malaki yung representation, marami ang makakatakbo. Because a lot of people will also be exercising their the decision Pagka-appointed, isa lang ang gumagawa ng decision usually, and that's the person we call the appointing authority. So yung mandato, well technically, yung mandato nanggagaling dun sa isang tao lang. So pagka ganon, you hold that person accountable. Ikaw, nagpapasok ka ng tao hindi qualified, posibleng kriminal and all that. So yung single person na yun, yung appointing authority, usually is nililimit yung discretion niya, nilalagyan ng mga requirements yung ia-appoint nila. Samantalang tayo, electorate tayo, marami tayo, we all have to get together to agree if this or that person is going to sit in office. May dalang mandato galing sa maraming tao. So malaki po yung difference. Okay? Eto, sabi ni Rodel Celda Luarca, namimili na ng botos namimili na ng botos si Pacman, pwede ba siyang i-disqualify? Hindi pa po kasi election period. Bawal po yan during an election campaign. Gayon pa man. I agree with the discomfort. Kumbaga, tama naman kayo na this still constitutes some kind of vote buying. It's just that it's not being conducted during the electoral campaign period, which is next year pa. So, it's a tough question. Legally speaking, pwede siyang i-challenge on that one. Kasi it's literally buying votes, eh, 'di ba? And dapat isinasama yung mga ganyang klaseng gastos dun sa kanyang election spending. Well, gayon pa man, there has to be a cut-off time for that. It's just too hard to to set up the rule na vote buying siya. Gayon ngang hindi pa kasi nag-umpisa ang campaign period. Maraming salamat kay Ella Michamil Mickey. Sabi niya, good evening, Atty. Trixie and Atty. Ahmed. Ah, sabi ni Miguel, di po ba lagi naman siyang namimigay ng lipo? Yes, but this time there is the consideration that he is running. Dati namimigay siya kasi nanalo siya sa laban. Namimigay siya because, well, yun nga, marami siyang pera. Pagka nanalo siya, namimigay siya ng pera. So I think the context here is different. It won't fly yung argumento na yon. Sino po bang gumawa ng batas na basta marunong bumasa at sumulat, pwedeng kumandidato sa kahit anong public office? That's in the Constitution. Napaka-epokrito naman bakit ang janitor sa SM kailangan graduate ng kolehiyo. Again, tulad ng sinabi ko sa inyo, hindi po kasi yan yung basis. Kumbaga, ang elected officials kasi ay may dalang mandato galing sa maraming tao. Samantalang ang appointed officials, and yung sinasabi ninyo, janitor sa SM, private naman yan that is not comparable. Pero yung mga appointed officials, nanggagaling yung mandato nila dun sa appointing authority, isang tao lang ang nag-exercise ng discretion, and therefore kailangan limitahin natin yung discretion na yun. And two, he or she will bear the liability kapag may ginawang mali yung kanyang inappoint. Pagka hindi yun. No? So you put in qualifications, itong taong to kailangan ganito in order to work in this particular office. Kunwari, clerk ka, kailangan marunong ka magbasa, marunong ka mag-file, marunong ka this or that. Particular skills. 'Di ba? Isa lang ang naglaluluklok sa kanya sa posisyon. Whereas an elected official, we, all of us, the Filipino people or the citizens in a certain congressional district, marami ang namili. Kumbaga, ang dami niyang boss, ang daming naging ano. So the liability is, well, it's spread out. Pero dun sa individual, isa lang po ang nagluluklok at answerable siya dun sa appointing authority na yon. Yung appointing authority naman must be limited in his actions kasi nga ang laki ng power na binigay sa kanya. So, it's not the same ha. You can't really compare. I mean, yes, I understand. Grabe yung ano natin, yung problema natin na mag-a-apply. Kunwari, ikaw, ako, for instance, mag-a-apply ako with a government position, ang daming bawal. Pero dun sa mga elected positions, ang daming pwede. But that's precisely because you get a mandate from a lot of people. Diba? Let me see. Guys, wag niyo naman i-flood. Nakita ko naman yung comment on the wall. Alright, there. If the troll is ano. Sabi nung troll, ano, di ba katatapos lang ng laban ni Pacman, kaya namigay siguro siya kasi manalo, matalo, milyones, kinita niya. But that's not the case, di ba? Nor Azuki V. Ethel says dapat i-revise yung constitution sa qualification ng pagkapangulo, vice-presidente, and senators in any position. Kailangan kolehiyong graduate. Maybe, nagbago na rin kasi yung tingin natin. Pero ideally, is anybody should be able to run for president. Any one of us is supposed to be qualified to lead the country. Kaya talaga mababa yung mga requirements na yan para kahit sino, kumbaga, pag sinabi mo kasing college graduate, ang dami nang ma-exclude. And so people, halimbawa, who for reasons of poverty were not able to finish college, hindi na siya pwede magpresidente. Kung mabait naman, qualified, may leadership and all of that, the idea is to get uh, as wide a pool as possible to choose our leaders. And, di ba, kung kunwari, hindi nakatapos ng kolehiyo, then he or she will be able to understand the poverty that led to that, the lack of choices, and so on. And that person will have a unique perspective and might be a better leader than others, di ba? Hi, I'm just wondering till now bakit di nabigyan ng cabinet position or any government position by PRRD? If he considers BBM as an ally, makes me think my issue si PRRD with BBM. But why are we speculating? Especially speculating on a relationship between BBM and PRRD. Si BBM hindi nagrereklamo. He has not picked a fight with the Dutertes. And yet, by raising issues like this, issues that cannot be answered unless you have personal knowledge of either the president's intentions or BBM's refusal to act on what might have been offered, we don't know. So why are we conjecturing? Are you trying to bring the conjecture to the point where mag-aaway ang pro Duterte with the pro BBM people, and to do so dangerously during election time? But it's conjecture. That question cannot be answered. So by raising it and then uh, what if, keep repeating several questions of what if, it creates a doubt and a situation that's possible to open a division between the BBM supporters and the Duterte supporters if they're exclusive for each party. If you have time to listen to this, if hindi mo pa napanood so many praises from Lenny fans but scripted in Q&A, he didn't put in a link. And uh, di po ba maging moot and academic ang COMELEC protest ni BBM kung mag-accept siya ng cabinet position? No, if he runs again. I understand that he did not accept a cabinet position before nor ask for it. Uh, to pay more attention to his electoral protest. But accepting a cabinet position, I have to double check on that one. But if you run for elections, it means you've abandoned your electoral protest. Yun po yun. I'll double check on that one. I have to get back to you on that one. Sabi ni BBM, ino-offer siya dati ni PRRD ng position. Kaya lang, if he will accept that, it will have a bad effect o sa proseso ng protest niya sa Pandarayan ni Madam. Bad effect. Okay, let me just check that. Uh, Pagka-elected, oo. There you go. Let me see. Mabagal yung internet, Sandali. Elector. If it will nullify the protest, no? Hmm, case in 1996. Let's look at this one. Meanwhile, let's look at the other questions, no? May nagtanong kung tatakbo po ba daw ako and obviously did not file a certificate of candidacy, hindi po. Okay. Double check. I can't give you an answer right now. Protestants will dispense with the revision instant. Elected position lang. However, ang sinasabi ni BBM is that it will draw attention away from it. It might have an effect. Might think that the court might interpret it as an abandonment of his electoral protest. The what is definitely an abandonment is if you run for office again. Mm. Decided to waive the revision. Ayan. That the revision fees. Okay. The controlling case that I can see here is Miriam Santiago's case. Diba? She ran for president, she had an electoral protest, and then she ran for senator. So, naging moot na yung kanyang electoral protest. Bakit po nakapag-file ng senatorial si De Limao kung nasa kulungan siya at may mga kaso? Again, uulitin ko po, hindi po disqualified si Madam Laila kasi hindi pa po siya convicted by final judgment. And therefore, even if you're facing pending cases, you are presumed to be innocent until proven otherwise. Dahil wala pa pong resolution yung regional trial court, yung trial court na naglilitis sa kanya, the presumption of innocence prevails. I think this is very important for us to underscore, ha? Ulit-ulitin ko 'to. Hindi komot may kaso ka, guilty ka, 'di ba? Kasi otherwise bakit pa tayo magta-trial? Yung trial is to establish guilt. Sabi ng ating saligang batas, the presumption is of innocence, meaning you're innocent until proven otherwise. And the proving happens during the trial phase. So when the court tries you and then makes a decision saying that you are guilty, that is conviction. The presumption of innocence will no longer apply if that conviction is final. Ngayon, paano yan magiging final? Kung kunwari, hindi yan inapila after so many days, magiging final yan. Or inappeal nyo, na-deny yung appeal, hindi mo na inappeal further yon, then it becomes final and executory. So, kailangan po, ewan ko kung bakit hindi, parang a lot of people still have this conception na komo ba't nakasuhan, ibig sabihin, presumed guilty ka na. Wala pong ganun. The presumption is always of innocence until proven guilty. So, wala pang decision yung regional trial court. And I would like to underscore, hindi pa po convicted si Madam Laila. Paano siya nakapag-file? Pwede po mag-file by proxy. Maggagawa siya ng parang magkikilala siya ng isang representante at yun ang nag-file para sa kanya dun sa COMELEC. Okay? Let's be fair. Okay? Paano kung ibang tao yun? Paano kung kunwari kapatid mo tumatakbo tapos biglang kasuhan ng kalaban para mapatid siya? It makes it so easy eh. Pagka nag-disqualify ka ng isang tao na humaharap sa kaso pa lang, then it means that you're already presuming that that person is guilty at pinaparusahan niyo na siya. Pwede po ba makasuhan ang mga politikong nakipag-alliance sa NPA? Remember, ang NPA po ay only designated terrorist organization. Hindi pa po sila proscribed terrorist organization. Pag ito ay proscribed, dumaan na yan sa trial sa Court of Appeals. Ang Court of Appeals, pag nag-pronounce sila na terrorist organization yan, ang paglilitis niyan kasi ay katulad ng isang criminal case. So papatunayan pa. Yung designation po ng Anti-Terrorism Council ay para lang for the purpose of freezing the accounts, 'di ba? At saka for conducting surveillance. So, kung nakipag-ugnayan dun sa NPA, hindi pa po magve-vest yung presumption na violation ito ng Terrorist Act. So, it's that Anti-Terrorism Act na nagbibigay ng definition kung ano yung violation niyan at dun sa pakikipag-ugnayan sa isang proscribed terrorist organization, hindi pa po sila proscribed. Ang NPA proscribed, they are merely designated. Thank you kay Ma'am Evelyn Revelo. Sabi niya, thank you for sharing your opinion on present political issues and your expertise in legal issues. You're welcome. Bakit sa tingin ninyo hindi sumusuporta kay BBM ang ibang DDS aside from their hope that Mayor Sara Duterte will still run? I can't conjecture on why other people will say that, but here's the flip side. Bakit sa tingin ninyo ginaaway ng ibang BBM supporters ang mga DDS? I think simply it's this ang tingin nila is magkatunggali yung dalawa, that BBM is a threat to Sara or Sara is a threat to BBM. But I think we should dismiss all ideas of that. Bakit hindi sumusuporta? Hindi sila required. Neither party, neither of their followers are required to support. But what is important is hindi mag-away. Kasi yung dalawa mismo, hindi magkaaway. Hindi pa nga natin alam kung sila ay against each other in the elections. So why are we talking about all of these things? Bakit merong mga ganyang usapan na alitan dun sa dalawang kampo when we don't even know if there are going to be two camps? 'Di ba? Ang presumption ngayon ay hindi tatakbo si Madam Inday kasi hindi siya nag-file ng COC. We're hoping or some people are hoping na makapag-file pa rin siya through substitution. Now, if she files for presidency, then people will think that it's BBM versus Sarah or Sarah versus BBM. But then we don't know how BBM is going to react to that either. So parang ang nangyayari is nag-a-anticipate kayo na magkalaban yung dalawa, then there is no evidence to show that. So merong kinakabahan dyan. At yung mga kinakabahan na yun, gusto nila sirain na kagad yung kalaban. Kasi for instance, if Sarah doesn't run right now, if elections were conducted right now, ang laki ng possibility na mananalo si BBM. But all bets are off once Inday Sara comes back into the picture. So ngayon, kinakabahan yung ilang mga miyembro ng kabilang kampo. But we don't know, like I said, what the plans of BBM are regarding Sara Duterte run. He has been allegedly quoted as saying hindi siya tatapat kay Madam Inday. So kung meron nagagalit dyan, it might be because they are pinning their hopes on BBM running for president and Madam Inday presents a threat to that. Now, I think that regardless of your motivation, it is not a good idea to pick a fight right now given the instability of the situation. Wala pang sigurado. Right now, we know that BBM is the most popular candidate, but we also don't know what the effect will be on BBM himself if Inday Sara runs. 'Di ba? Why are you creating a fight when the two candidates themselves are one candidate and a potential candidate ay hindi naman nag-aaway? Bakit kayo makikipag-away? I don't understand that part. Rodolfo De Leon says, aside from BBM, may dalawa pa pong Marcos na tatakbo bilang Pangulo. I understand there's just one, Tiburcio Marcos, and the other one is running for Senate. Diba? What do you mean beware? Abay, pagkakataon pa kasi na i-disqualify sila as nuisance candidate, yung tumatakbo bilang presidente as nuisance candidate if he cannot show that he is serious about mounting a campaign. 'Di ba? Ibang klase ang tumakbo ng presidente. Titignan if you have the resources or the machinery to show that you're serious about it. So itong beware na ito, usually beware tayo kapag may kapangalan kasi it will take away votes, magiging stray and so on. So or makakaloko ng mga voters. But I don't really think that people will consider Tiburcio Marcos as the same as Bongbong Marcos, 'di ba? BB says, ang high blood, chill. Sinong kausap niyo po? Julian Escudero says, resign na po ba si Senator Bongo and Senator Bato? Senators, if mag-back out sila, pwede silang makabalik po as senators. They are midterm senators. They are not required to resign kasi nga they're elected officials. So, hindi po sila, ang mga elected officials po don't need to resign their position in order to run for elections. Ang mga nagre-resign lang po ay mga appointed officials. Sa CNN interview ni Pinky Webb kay BBM, if willing daw mag-sorry si BBM sa mga kasalanan ni Apo Lakay, ikaw Pinky, willing ka ba mag-sorry sa karumagdumal na krimen ni Hubert Webb sa Visconde Massacre? Oh, wow. Is it possible po na mag-declare ng martial law sa panahon ng election dyan sa atin? Yes, but it would not be politically astute. It's not a good idea during elections na magde-declare ng martial law. Remember, what are the reasons for declaring martial law? Lawless violence and high crimes, di ba? So, bakit i-declare yan? And remember, ang dami kasing nagsasabi, martial law, na kasi tingin nila, pagka nag-declare ng martial law, pwedeng pasara yung Senado, tsaka yung Kongreso. Hindi po yan nasa 1987 Constitution. Nagawa po yan ni President Marcos because that was a different constitution. So, um, I think you have to adjust yung belief ninyo na martial law can cause the shutdown of Congress. Rain Pinebook says ang totoong DDS is not mga away ng loyalista. The rift are catalyzed by yellows from Jover's husband on the side of loyalists in Coatano plus Lord Allen on the side of PDS. Good PM sa magandang lawyer. Okay. Joker siya says, okay sana si Bato, yung daldal niya ngayon, di naman niya ginamit nung kailangan ni PRRD ng resback sa Senado. I agree with the sentiment. For sure, whoever those who want BBM and Mayor Sara wage war with each other belongs to the other group, posing as either BBM and Sara Z. Duterte supporters. Divide and conquer is their key to topple BBM and Sara partnership. Yeah, I agree. Ewan kung may nagtanong na. Tanong ko sana kung sakaling manalo si Bongo at Bato, sino mag-fill ng seats nila? You mean sa Senado? Wala po. Wala pong succession sa Senado. May decision na ba ang Korte Suprema sa final ni Atty. Topacio sa mga senador na nagpakulong? No, sinabi lang ng Supreme Court na kailangan sumagot ng Senado. Would BDS supporters be happy if Sara substitutes Senator Bongo as VP and partner to BBM? Why is this question significant? Di ba? Why? What do you mean? Why would we be happy? Why would BDS be happy if Sara substitutes for Senator Bongo? First of all, that is impossible because Inday Sara has already said she will not run in PDP Laban. So that question is, highly suggests a highly improbable situation. Not even fair to ask it. Francis Redor says if she will not decide earlier, we will lose chance to decide and we will stick to our first choice. Can't decide early means not ready to serve. That depends, sir, on the reason for not deciding early. Besides, she made a decision. She said she wasn't going to run. Now, the situation can change. Diba? It has nothing to do with being ready. And as a matter of fact, if the indications, my suspicions are correct, is that she was ready. Remember her statement. she's not a last minute sort of person. She had prepared for this, but something had intervened. What that something is, I am not sure. And I don't give weight to any of the rumors saying that it was somebody close to in the cabinet who caused the rift. There's no evidence of that other than the chismis. So that intervention does not indicate that Mayor Sara is not ready. Oh my goodness, Bob Kiel, bakit si Batogo inindoso ni Duterte si BBM hindi? Assuming lang ba si BBM? How can the president endorse BBM when they are not party mates? The president has a party. He can only endorse his party mates. Bakit niyo pinipilit ito? Bakit bakit may mga victims dito, mga pa-victim. Kawawa naman si BBM, hindi in-endorse ni PRRD. BBM would have to be in PDP laban for him to be endorsed. Why would, di ba nga, di nagdi-disqualify sila. Gusto nila i-disqualify si ano? You remember yung Coco Pimentel Wing? Gusto nilang i-disqualify si Sec Cusi, Sec Jen Matibag because they were secretly endorsing a non-party mate. Tapos gusto ninyo si PRRD mag-endorse ng non-party mate kahit si BBM pa yan. Bakit niyo ba pinipilit ito? Hindi ko talaga naiintindihan. Nagpapa-victim kayo si BBM mismo, wala naman din sinasabi. Well, why do you feel victimized by this? Daming issue ng mga marites dito, sabi ni Henry C. H. John says, guys, please respect this is a DDS vlog. Don't push BBM. No, it's okay. It's okay for that. But some people might feel offended. No, 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 no. We like BBM. Okay? That's not even an issue. We haven't even decided who our presidential candidate is going to be. So by all means, push BBM. It's okay. It's not an issue. I think I would have an issue if you pushed for Lenny. But definitely not. It's okay. But what I don't like is this, yung nag-create ng mga scenarios for dissension, for fights. Why are you doing this to yourselves? 'Di ba? Do you honestly think that picking fights with the DDS is going to make BBM win? 'Di ba? Wag naman ganyan. BBM needs all the support he can get if he runs for, if Inday Sara doesn't file for substitution, then BBM needs all the support you can get. And sa tingin nyo ba, pag inaway ninyo yung mga hindi agree sa inyo, that will make him win? Elections is about addition. Di ba? Ato, Krisa Girl says, and don't forget, BBM is also karambulista like Amy and Attorney Gadon. Well, we'd like to think so kasi sa dalas niya mag-guest at saka parang ang dali niyang hatakin. Yung tipong dati nag-guest lang siya kay Senator Amy. Tapos kami yung susunod na show. Tapos, uy, guest naman kayo dun sa show namin. Aba, umupo. 'Di ba? So, yeah, we like BBM. We I would be happy to see him as president. But like I said, the situation is volatile because of the possibility of Inday Sara still filing her certificate of candidacy through a substitution. But ganito yan ang nakikita ko dito is uh, the uncertainty is making people worried. So, chill lang guys. Meron pang November 15. This is possibly the most exciting. Kumbaga sa basketball, ito yung pinaka buzzer beater sa lahat ng buzzer beaters na election before. Henry C. says, dyan nag-iimpisa yung away na yan eh. Pero yung Dutertes and Marcoses, magkaayos naman. Ayusin yung pagiging marites ninyo, pambihirang utak yan. Well, we don't have to be nasty to each other, 'di ba? Even if we don't agree. Yung nastiness, yun yung mga dilaw. Nagiging ano lang tayo, nagiging mitchy lang tayo kapag yung alam mo yun, yung nagpipilit na lang. Neil Marshall says BBM supporters to take over Net 25 of Eagle Broadcasting. Is this news or is this a rumor? Alis mga mapagpanggap na dilaw dito, strategy na lang yan ng kalaban para pag-awayin ng BBM supporters at BTS supporters. Huwag niyo po i-absorb. Daming nagpapanggap ngayon na kunwari supporter ni BBM o PRRD. Trixie Girl says, in fairness, BBM Vlog naging malaking tulong to know BBM more and his family, especially the millennials, nakaka-addict sila panoorin ang chill at nakaka-happy vibes. That's true. That's true. Even just talking to BBM, he's so chill. Yun yung maganda din sa kanya. He, he's at that age where the, kumbaga, he has developed statesmanship. Arthur Allen Rivera's Balang says, we should help each other. Yeah. Andres Larce says Sarah will give way in respect of the Marcoses and Duterte will never intervene. Si Bato is just there to play the game. Yeah, but let's not put words into anybody's mouth here. Okay. Madam Inday has in fact said that she's not running, so giving way. I don't think she's made any comments about that. Jenny Aquino says there should be no rift between DDS and BBM supporters. Huwag kayong gumawa ng drama, hindi kami ABS-CBN. Ayan, o, di ba? Napagsabihan kayo ni Madam. Thank you kay Francis Cayetano. Sabi niya, the squabbling between the so-called BBM and DDS supporters have forgotten the goal of ALDAB, Alyansang Duterte Bongbong, that was born in 2016. No more yellows. Yeah, di ba? ALDAB. What is your take on TP's Marites 2022 edition if Sarah won't run na kailangan daw mag-usap ni BBM at PDP for a landslide win because, uh, oops, teka nawala. Nawala, sandali ah. Naka, ano ba yung binabasa ko nawala? Ah, nako. Pakiulit na lang and I'm going to read it again. PRRD and DBM supporters must unite to prevent LPs to be in power again. Actually, we are united. It's just that may mga tao na gustong buwagin yung united stance na yon. What is your, ito nahanap ko na. For landslide win because of Smartmatic. If Sarah won't run, na kailangan daw mag-usap ni BBM at PDP for a landslide win because of Smartmatic and USA's pangingialam ng internal affairs ng Pilipino. It's consistent with my stand that Smartmatic can be beaten by overwhelming numbers, di ba? Bakit ba puro pertaining to Duterte and BBM combo? Malakas na si BBM kahit walang PRRD. Ang ipagdasal nyo na hindi sila magtapat sa presidency at malabong mangyari yan. BBM can adjust if Sarah runs for the presidency. I think this is a good comment. Ruby Jock Kino says, tinatawanan na lang black propaganda. Si BBM tinatawanan na lang black propaganda sa kanila ever since kasi alam naman yan totoo kaso hindi lahat curious. Diyan kung makita propaganda ng dilaw at pula kain ang mga busy sa buhay. Yeah. I think that we should focus our attentions uh, on the opposition o yung mga kalaban. Kasi habang hindi pa tayo sure if it's BBM for the presidency definitely or if Inday Sara might come in at mag-usap sila and all that. So until we're sure about who our presidential candidate is going to be, we already know who we are sure who our candidates are not going to be. Diba? For instance, I don't think anybody in this feed is going to vote for Lenny. Diba? But every time she opens her mouth, there's a lesson to be learned. Yeah, may mga sinasabi niya siya na that are really either off tangent or or impertinent, doesn't meet the question, our motherhood statements and so on, or they can all be summarized as simply really stupid comments or stupid answers. So we need to talk about what she says, not so to publicize her. There's no danger for winning. Pero kailangan pinapublicize din natin kasi baka may magseryoso, di ba? Uh, Taga-Bundok says, thank you for the informative channel. Keep it up. Dakilang tagahanga niyo ako. Kahit karambola, BBM, Sara, tandem pa rin. Yan, mabuhay ang mga Pilipino. Yeah, I'm still holding on to the hope that it will be a Sara BBM or BBM Sara tandem, which is why hindi ako makahinga until November 15. But like I said, whatever her decision is going to be, I'm going to respect that. I understand where she's coming from in the sense that when she makes a decision, she likes to stand by it unless the situation has changed. Okay? Sabi ni Byron kagabi sa vlog niya sa YouTube na 'pag di daw si Bato ang iboboto ay di daw DDS kasi si Bato daw inendorso ni PRRD. Can we settle this and talk about an argument that BBM is better than Bato? Well, in the first place, Senator Bato has admitted that he's not serious about his presidential run. 'Di ba? So, since hindi siya seryoso, then hindi siya naghihikayat ng boto natin. Hindi kailangan i-set up siya against BBM. Hindi po. It's more about whether or not he's actually running, di ba? I will support BBM. Sorry ba to? Sabi ni Josephine Angeles. Makakabalik ka naman sa Senado. That's a very pragmatic approach. Oh. Jairus Christian says, what are your thoughts about Kiko saying sana all may pagkain sa lamesa when in fact he voted no for the Bayanihan Act? I never take Kiko Pangilinan seriously. I never take any of the liberals seriously, no matter how much they hide their liberalness or their yellowness. Because what Senator Kiko was saying was basically just rhetoric, pretty words. But if he had proposed a policy sana, sana all may pagkain sa lamesa, o sige, let's say hindi nga lahat may pagkain sa lamesa, anong suggestion mo? 'Di ba? O how are we going to do this? Wala na tayong pang-ayuda. O anong gagawin natin ngayon? Wala. All he's doing is trying to destroy the administration but without any concrete measures to suggest. At ano ba, 'di ba? At least si BBM or even Inday supporters, 'di ba? Pagka ayan may lockdown, they come out. BBM has relief goods, has ayuda. Yung mga run people are always going around and doing all of these food distributions and so on. Itong mga to, put your money where your mouth is or at least walk the talk. Sasabihin ninyo, wow, sana all may pagkain sa lamesa. Bigyan ninyo. Ginagawa ninyo, nagpapaiyak-iyak ka dyan. May nagsasabing LP daw supported by CIA and Illuminati groups. Your opinion? Okay, the Illuminati groups, I think I'm going to have to reserve my opinion for that one until I see better evidence. But on the CIA, well, they certainly are aligned with people who are consistent kumbaga, approving or in consonance with the CIA's certain activities. Halimbawa, the National Endowment Fund is unashamedly, admittedly, a CIA, not even a front. It's the means that the CIA uses for distributing grants. And there are people who are recipient of the grants for the National Endowment for Democracy dito sa Pilipinas. And those people who align themselves with the recipients, well, that gives rise to a suspicion. So, ay, nako. AIM and says, sana marami nang magpakilala na admin-aligned senatorial aspirants kasi parang mas marami nang lumalabas na trapo na senador na gustong bumalik. Yes, but we can also refuse to vote for them. Mas gusto ko nang bumoto ng completely unknown kesa dun sa mga return of the comeback. Your opinion po sa continued LP faction, Balay and Samar. Well, okay, Balay and Samar. Hmm. Una-una, I don't really think that they're relevant, pero kumbaga, their alignments with certain candidates, like the rumor that former Senator Mar Rojas uh, is in the ISCO camp, is certainly something that we should look at. Yung pagtutulong pa rin kay Lenny and all that means that they're still liberals. They're still yellow. They're just ashamed to be called Liberal Party, and they're ashamed to be associated by a party that's so nakakahiya. Yun lang yun. But with the alignment with ISCO, I think we have to look closely at that one kasi that might mean that a vote for ISCO is a vote for the comebacking yellow. So no, definitely not. Jock says ang dapat iboto yung magbibigay ng pagkain sa lamesa at hanap buhay sa mga kababayan at kayang magtanggol sa mga mananakop, BBM at Duterte sa, sa 2022. Oo nga naman. Mac Oling says, will you agree na ipagpapatuloy ni Senator Bato yung run niya for president just to help BBM sa debate para di naman siya pulutanin? We know naman na di siya seryoso, but to help more BBM. Sorry for my imagination. I think that, ganito yan eh. You help your party mates first. If Senator Bato likes to help BBM, bakit iintayin pa niya yung debate? He can do that right now. Diba? Comment niya sa pamimigay yung kay Senator. We already commented on that one. Henry C. says mag-withdraw si Isko. Papayag siya. Mas mataas pa yung survey results niya kay Lenny. Matindi ego nun ni Isko. Ubo na po ako. BBM can defend himself, sabi ni Putong. Ina mo, yeah, there you go. Diba? Ayuda ng mga Villar. Si Sara wala rin, pero mas iboboto niyo siya kaysa kay Bato, di ba? What makes you think Senator Bato will continue if Inday Sara files a COC? Kung manalo ba si BBM, kung mga sinasabi ni Madam Imelda sa interview niya kay Mel Chanco, posible ba 'yon? I'm, no matter what Mrs. Marcos says, Mrs. Imelda Marcos says, in the end, it'll be BBM who will decide. Now, the kids, I've actually asked Senator BBM and Senator Amy about that, and they disagree that that thing even exists. So, okay, let's say that there's a will na sinasabi ni Madam Imelda. A will has to go through probate. A probate proceeding in court is a way of proving the authenticity of a will. Okay? Now, if a will has not been probated, no property can be transferred as a result of that. So, assuming that there is a will and there is and people know that the will exists, their obligation is immediately to bring it to court for probate. Now, if you have a will and you're not bringing it to court for probate, that goes against you. But it also goes against now you can also question the authenticity of that will or the seriousness of the intention of people to probate that will or to see it through, to execute it. Okay, guys, a will is no joke. If a will exists, then it must be proven. Must be proven in court for it to have any effect. And if it is not brought to court at the earliest possible time, it's it's a reason to question both the authenticity of the will and the intentions of the person who has kept it from the courts. Thank you, K.I. Wilson Clave. Carl Adao, thank you very much for your super chat. Mamarites Lucas says, basta ako nakahabol sa absentee voting registration, ready nang bumoto. Go! Hello, Attorney Trix and Attorney Awesome. Have a good morning. O nga, no? It's 12:51. Cheryl Macalalad says, "Do our part, ipangampanya natin si BBM habang waiting pa rin tayo kay Sarah. At least sana this time walang mga trapo." That's a good one, 'di ba? I like that. No more trapos and no more return of the comeback na senators. Dun sa Kongreso, it's a little trickier, 'di ba? Kasi yung iba magagaling naman, so we don't mind re-electing those. Pero yung iba, wag na, pakabasura. And pay attention to the party lists, ha? Tumatakbo si Madam Moca. Um, I'm not sure about other party lists that we can endorse yet, pero definitely si Mocha. 'Di ba? Kaya siya naman ano, and please fill up, wag niyong i-blanko. Kung ano, kasi kung ibablanko ninyo, very organized kasi yung Makabayan Bloc. Sanay na sanay silang magpapanalo for party list. Now, in order to defeat them, make sure na hindi blanco yun para hindi sila nakaka-advance, hindi sila pinamamayagpag. Other party lists can be voted into Congress. Mapuno natin yung ano, yung mapadami natin yung mga party list representatives na hindi from that block. Diba? Last two questions. Ang mga tanong ninyo, sabi ni Fernand Castro, ay kayang-kayang sagutin yan ni Manny Pacquiao. Commonly sense lang. Grabe, akala ko naman seryoso to. Kung sakaling manalo si BBM as president, posible kayang palitan ang NAIA sa MIA? Why would BBM, first of all, BBM can't do that because the name was made by law and he's going to be president if ever, no, he's running for president. What he can do is pwede niyang pakiusapan yung Kongreso at Senado, but really, why would he waste political points and political goodwill on the name of the airport when he can ask Congress to pass better agricultural laws? So, makikiusap siya eh. And kumbaga sa politiko kasi maraming tinatawag ng horse trading dyan. Pag nakiusap ka, o kailangan ipasa niyo yung ganito, ang lagay eh, gaganon sila. So what's in it for us? What can the executive do for us that we will consider as balancing the scales? Di ba? Meron kang gusto, meron kaming gusto. So, aaksayahin mo ba yung opportunity na yon dun sa pangalan? Sana na lang, yung mga kongresista ang umandar dyan. Mariba naman sila sana. Di kaya mag-sub si Piduts kay Bongo, you know naman, Tatay Diggs, ang hilig mag-prank sometimes. Ed Castillan says, "Uy, may live. Hello po at magandang hating gabi po sa inyo." Rain says, "Vote Duterte Youth, anti-NPA party yun para matulala sina Elago. It seems it's not only MVP and Ayala is behind anti-Parex noise. Mababangga yung RFM, URC Morningstar. Any new reaction sa ingay?" Well, I always post naman our reactions. But you're right. Yung mga moneyed interest, corporate interests against Parex ay sobrang suspicious. They're not even concerned about heritage. They're just concerned that somebody else is getting the project. They didn't think of it first. Mga sinasabi ba ni JPE about martial law ay makatotohanan, lalo na yung mga against Aquino? May nabasa rin ako mga post niya sa Facebook page niya. Ako, my presumption is that they're true because he was an eyewitness or ear witness or he was there, okay, when all of these happened. So, there's no reason to doubt yet what he's saying. Uh, okay, ano ba? Naniniwala ba, ay, BBM for president. Abante Sambayanan party list ni Ka Eric. O, yun din. Any idea what will be the strategy of Tatay Digong? The enemies becoming strong, especially they're connected with giant media. I disagree that they're becoming strong. They're just becoming noisier. So I'm sure the president has something up his sleeve. But remember yung last, and we have to support him on this one, yung inaano niya, he's trying to make sure that the Senate stays in its place. Huwag silang nag-overreach, nag-iimbestiga, nag-ano. Hindi naman sila law enforcers. 'Di ba? So, yun ang ano, that's what I'm looking at to the president right now kasi yun yung major concern niya as of the moment. Oops. Bato. Nabasa ko kanina kwento ni JP about meeting with Ninoy noon. Grabe yun. Parang nakabasa ako ng history book. Well, yeah. Hey, maraming salamat. Uh, sa lahat ng sumubaybay, we'll still have till Sunday tomorrow but it might be early kasi we'll bibiyahe na kami ng hapon uli back to Manila so that may karambola at we will be at Karambola on Monday. One last question. Sabi ni Jeje Poy 01283, Smartmatics wrecking, pwede kaya i-order ni PRRD para balik sa mano-manong bilangan? No. The electronic counting is already set by law. So in order na babalikan sa mano-manong bilangan, kailangan ng batas. And hindi na po si PRRD yan, ng mambabatas yan. So, the president can use his political will and ask for the passage of a law. Pero hindi nga nasuportahan yan. Remember, it was Senator Amy who brought up the revisions to the electoral code. Diba? Siya yung nagpasusulong sana ng hybrid elections. Eh, hindi naman siya nasuportahan. Thank you kay Annalie Aquino for your super sticker. Maraming salamat sa pagsubaybay sa Luminous Live ngayong gabi. May smart. May live po tayo dito. So, till Sunday live tomorrow. Either very early or late na kasi nga may biyahe pa kami. Don't forget to like and share it. Tapos, kung sumusunod po kayo dun sa ating Facebook o kaya sa ating Facebook, please check kung naka-follow pa po kayo. If not, please follow again. Para sa hindi pa po naka-follow, don't forget to follow at ilagay sa favorites natin yung Luminous. Don't forget also to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Maraming salamat. We'll see you tomorrow. And have a good night, everybody.